How's it going, fighters? This is Shamaro, the Dragon Fox, coming to you live from K9C with episode 2 of the TNF podcasts in our second season. And I got my boy Wolf here with me too.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back.
If in case you guys are wondering if there's any news that's happened in the last week that we don't really discuss at all, like we are on that new format where we could do like one subject per episode. And two, we're recording this at the same time we recorded episode 1. Thanksgiving has just passed this past weekend, so we didn't really want to take away anything from family time, so we're getting this episode ahead of time so you guys can still be held over in the studio again. So, with that, Wolf, I believe you came up with a pretty good topic for our first newcomer subject. You said we should go over a few entry level games for new FGC people.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, like, when you, sorry, excuse me. I apologize if I sound a little weird. I am pretty much recovering from a cold right now, so I know I sound fine, but if that creeps up on me, I apologize. Anyways, so yes, that is pretty much the main question whenever you get into anything new. Like if you're getting into sports, you're thinking, "Oh, what sport should I focus on? What would be good to get me into this?" Or if you're getting into movies, you'd probably be like, I wonder what genre of movie I should watch first. Is there anything that's like popular and well received? So yeah, same question here with video games as a whole, and of course with the fighting game genre. Like, what games would be good to kind of start off with? I think for me, probably if you're looking to keep it family friendly, I would probably say your easiest bet is going to be Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, like I would definitely agree with you that like the platform fighters subgenre is definitely like an easy one to get into because it's pretty simplistic. Like I mean, you got your neutral attacks for each direction, then you got your smash attacks for each direction, and then just the grabs and shields, and that's
Yep.
basically it.
And then you've
I
and then you've got your specials as well on top of that.
yeah, the smash attacks. Yep.
Well, no, hang on. The
Oh
smash
yeah, sorry, I got that mixed up. Yeah. Smash attacks is when you hold down the attack button and direction button, and then you let it
exactly.
go after your charge is
Yep.
up. Yeah, that smash, and then specials are just the button for
There
specials.
you
Yeah.
go. And on top of that, like Smash Bros is perfect if you want to get into fighting games because that game is so full of iconic names. So like you can't really go wrong with it. Like Mario, Samus, Link, Sonic, Mega Man, Ryu, Bayonetta,
Kirby.
Ike, Kirby, Yoshi, Fox, Cloud, all in the same game? Like, that is pretty much like everybody's biggest dream come true. So, honestly, it's perfect. It's an easy game to pick up. It's got a variety of modes to choose from.
Not to mention, it's also got up to 8 players, so it's a fantastic party game. Like if you just want to kick it back with
Yeah,
your family or friends, and you don't want to wait your turn for like a 1v1 match, you can just throw all you in. Like as long as you got enough controllers, you can just throw yourselves all in, and there
there
you
you
go.
go.
You can just set that up, and then of course you have the tournament mode, which is great if you want to like actually like lock in and see who's the best at a certain character.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I will agree with you that Smash Bros definitely is a good entry level game. Although I will say that a lot like in the few really decent how to get into fighting games YouTube videos I've seen, the one big piece of advice that I keep seeing popping up is basically choose the one that you think looks the coolest. And
You
you
know
know,
what? It's a pretty good piece of advice, man.
yeah, there definitely is some wisdom there because if you think a game looks cool, you're gonna be more enthused to actually put some effort into learning it. Now, of
Yeah,
course, like this can change later on where like, you might try and then you figure out like the scroll like the control schemes are a little bit too complex for you and it might not be for you just based on the fact that you're new to the genre and you might want to check something else out. But yeah, most time just go with the one that looks the coolest.
yeah.
Now that said, there definitely are some that are more accessible to others in terms of simplistic controls.
Oh, definitely, and I'm sure you could think of a couple right off the top of your head there.
Oh, I definitely have some. Like the one that I would definitely recommend that anyone check out, just for one, the simple like the super simplistic controls, and just for shits and giggles, but just because it's a funny ass game, is this little indie darling called Dive Kick.
Uh, why did I feel like that was gonna be the first one that would come to mind for you?
I mean, like it is like the most simplistic thing you can get. Like there's no
True.
there's no movement, and it's just two buttons. Like you just have one for jumping and you have one for dive kicking, and
Yeah.
it's just beautiful in its simplicity. And if anyone's wondering like how can you make a good roster out of a game that only has like two buttons, let me tell you
Apparently
right
you
now.
can.
Yeah, let me tell you right now that each character has a very good, like a very unique gimmick that really changes up the gameplay. It can be anything from like the way they jump heights, or jump direction, to or the angle of their kick. Do they like just do a whole weird anti-grav horizontal flying kick, or do they do like a weird swing kick, or and then sometimes you got like the really weird ones, such as I forget the hero's name off the top of my head, but basically every time you win a match with him, basically his ego inflates and his head gets a little bit bigger each time.
Oh my
So
god.
like as a fighting gamer know, bigger body means bigger hitbox, which means you're a
Yep,
bigger target. So
exactly.
yeah, so that's crazy. And there's even this one guy, like even though the whole game is about kicking, there's this one guy. Again, I haven't gotten that into the characters, so I don't know all their names off the top of my head. But there's this one army dude, which basically he has boots on his feet and his hands.
What what?
Yeah, like he like basically he can kick with any part of his body in that regard. So yeah, so it definitely like dive kick is a very versatile game when it comes to like what characters are available and like the kind of playstyle you want to play with, but it's very simplistic in its two button control scheme. And like there really isn't that much to it. Like there is this one like little meter mechanic where you can just do like rapid fire dive kicks, just do like little short hops, and that'll kind of build meters so you can, I guess, get bigger jumps. Again, I haven't actually touched the game yet myself, but that seems to be what it's kind of there for. But yeah, aside from that, it's basically just you jump, you kick. Whoever lands the first hit wins that round. Whoever gets the first 7 rounds wins.
There you go. It's a very simple concept, but at the same time, it's the fact that it's so absurd, that alone adds to its replayability.
It definitely does. Like, and if you really want to get into the absurdity of this game, they even have a character that he's basically like a humanoid Wolverine, but his name is Redacted. They actually really did not want to get copyright struck by Marvel, so they made their character who was supposed to be named Wolverine Redacted because obviously.
Oh my god. Just that alone makes me think this whole game was designed by Deadpool.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Merc with the Mouth was behind this the entire time. But yeah, so Dive Kick definitely, like if you really just want to get like the bare bones of a fighting game, Dive Kick is a great way just to get familiar with like the basic concepts of a fighting game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it doesn't get it doesn't get much simpler than that. So definitely this is like the definition of baby steps, pretty much. If you want to put it that way, I mean that might be too
Oh
strong.
no. I'd say you're right in the money there, Wolf. Like I like, although I would say baby kicks, but yeah, baby steps all the same.
Yes, yes, of course. For sure.
Now, if you're a little bit if you're a little bit more advanced in terms of like if you've held a controller for several years now and you're like a really good proficient gamer overall, like in other genres, the next one I would recommend to you guys is one that well, if you know that I'm a huge fan of this one. It's Fantasy Strike.
Yes, that is right. Fantasy Strike, that is a really good one to pick up, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's basically like taking the simplicity of Smash Bros and putting it in a classic 2D fighting game space. So basically, what they do is they basically give you a button for just normal attacks, and then you got two buttons for special attacks. You have a button for jump, so there's no need to worry about if you're trying to do like a move that requires you to do up on the stick and then pressing a button. You don't have to worry about accidentally jumping and when you don't want to jump. So there's a designated jumping button. There's a designated grab button, and all it really is just like Smash Bros levels of simplicity, where you basically just you do certain moves by directional input and then just button. And that's basically it. And the supers are also like really easy to do, and they're even like very unique. Even though the roster is like very limited, there is a good variety of the supers that you can do. Like one where you have like a Chinese martial arts master who turns into a dragon. There's one where you have I'm trying to think. There's one where you have a panda that basically does a slot machine roll out
Yeah.
and all that. There's so much to that, and plus you have variety in the fact that there's a super on the ground and there's a super on the air, and they're both different in terms of what you can do there. So yeah, and each character they have their own unique character designs and their own like special little mechanics. Like you got one guy that can control the wind. You got one guy who can like do poison moves. You got Rook, who is he's the epitome of what I do not like about grabbers, because he
Uh,
has those infinite grab loops.
yep. He knows I'm a witness. I've done it to him.
Yeah. So I won't say that the game is wholly perfectly balanced. I will say in terms of just getting a good control simplicity, but still be advanced enough to give yourself a challenge, I would say Fantasy Strike is right up there. Plus, if you go into the settings for Fantasy Strike, they actually have how-to videos on each character. So, and I found that they are really good at what they do. So, if you're just new to the fighting games and you want to get to know a character in depth, they have that all rolled out for you.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest high points for Fantasy Strike is literally how well they go through taking you through learning different characters. They did an excellent job at that. And plus, going back to the point you made earlier about some of the videos that you've seen, it is definitely one of the most visually appealing games out there.
Yeah, it definitely has that flashy, like cell shade art style that seems to be like a big hit with a lot of people nowadays. So yeah, if you like really vibrant colors, like this is definitely a game that you will love if you want like an entry level fighting game.
Yeah, for sure. That's one to watch for. Absolutely.
Indeed.
In terms of like other ones that are like really easy to pick up and play, I can't really seem to think of any others at the moment. Because like if I'm worried because it's like now that I've said Smash Bros, I feel like I could just keep on going off the platformer genre because all the other ones that I want to say they are like far more complex. So
Or like they're either far more complex or they're just carbon copies of Smash Bros. Because every
yeah,
company like every game company out there took a swing at trying to re-envision Sakurai's vision for Smash Bros.
it's
Although
true.
although I will say that I'm surprised there's actually one game that I think I'm surprised you didn't mention first off. And I you know what? I think MK1 might be a good entry level game.
You know what? I see there's a reason why I didn't mention it right off the top. And it's because when you think of big games like Mortal Kombat, you think of the complexity of the gameplay and stuff like that. And if you're someone who is just starting fighting games, like ideally that would not be one of the first games to go to. But to be fair, it's got an intriguing story mode. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's got a pretty big roster of characters, all of whom are iconic in their own ways. So, like, yeah, but I do understand your point though, because they did simplify it a little bit. The general tutorials and the character tutorials,
Dude, they did such a good job. Like I can
they are
actually
so very in depth.
I know if you go to oh my gosh, no, the curse of not knowing his name is back. Help me out here,
Don't
Wolf.
worry, you got it, you got it, you got it.
Uh, I keep wanting to say Shang-Chi. Oh my god. Help me, bro. Help me.
Forgive him. He's in the middle of an MCU binge.
Ugh, help. Please help.
Liu Kang.
Liu Kang, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I am sorry, MK fans. For some reason, Liu Kang's name just does not stick in my head for some reason. I don't know why. I don't want to forget his name because again, he has that awesome like fire dragon move, but for some reason it keeps happening. I am so sorry. But yeah, I can actually in this like in MK1, it's probably the first game where I can actually easily get a bicycle kickoff, which is like one of Liu Kang's like most iconic moves.
It is
So
the most iconic move for Liu Kang. So
it
yeah,
is definitely, yeah, but I mean like I get your point about the complexity of play, and if we're talking like MK11, yes, that is by far a
yeah,
very more advanced game, and I would not recommend that to
definitely.
new players. But the new MK1, I would argue that it's good. Like it's maybe not the best like very first game that you get, but it's still like in that entry level range. I mean,
Yeah,
there is the fact that yes, they did simplify the moves a little bit. So it's basically just a lot of core circles and like a single button, and that's basically it for most characters. And like so like there are a couple characters that like have their own like special, more complex mechanics. Like if you look at Shang-Chi and his ability to switch styles between his young and old forms, like there's that. But
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, oh my gosh, oh frick me. But yeah. Anyway, so there is that, but at the same time, it's mostly just I think it's a good way of getting people more acquainted with light, medium, heavy, and then a special. Plus, for those of you who are not like comfortable with holding back to block, MK just has a dedicated block button.
Yes, it does, and that's something that I've always been really happy about. I myself struggle with holding back to block. Like, I mean, yeah, I can do it in like Street Fighter and like Tekken, but like anything else, it feels weird. But then again, it's because of the fact that I actually have spent a lot of time playing Street Fighter and playing Tekken. So like it feels fine, but if it's anything other than that, I'm done. You might as well just end the round right there. But nonetheless, yeah, if you guys do not like holding back to block, there is a dedicated block button which has pretty much become a thing over the years for Mortal Kombat. So, and on top of that, part of the simplicity that comes with Mortal Kombat is being able to pull off fatalities very easily. And that is through basically holding the right trigger along with a corresponding button. So, and just like that, but you have to make sure you're at the right distance though. Whether it's close, medium, far, you got to make sure you're at the right distance.
Right, they still have that. They still have that little constraint on you. But yeah,
Yeah.
and keep in mind, like this is only like if you're like again of the age range where you should be playing Mortal Kombat because again,
Yes.
total blood, gore, and sex
Yeah,
appeal and such.
we do not condone anybody under the age of 18 playing games such as Mortal Kombat.
I mean, I would go as low as 16, but yeah, like nothing, like yeah, nothing below that for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but that said, like if you guys want like the block button accessibility, but you don't want to have, but you want something a little more family friendly, I would say Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising is a good equivalent.
Yeah, it's a very solid pick. And again, like simple controls, it's got a really good roster of characters, lots of beautiful stages that you can play on.
Oh, dude, those stages! Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like my favorite to play on in that game has gotta be like the like just the open playing stage.
You know what? I don't blame you, dude. I really don't. Those stages look absolutely magnificent. And like yeah, I'm pretty sure there's even a story mode in Grand Blue Rising, isn't there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Grand Blue Versus and Grand Blue Versus Rising. Yeah, they've both had dedicated story modes because like keep in mind like Grand Blue at its core has just been a mobile game for like the longest time in Japan. Unfortunately, we have not gotten any rendition of that in the West. But yeah, it's had like a bit of a history already with its story, and like it's had anime. It's got the new Relink game that's either I forget whether it's out already or coming out soon, but it's got that kind of like be more like a hack and slash sort of thing, like or RPG. I'm not quite sure what the genre is there. But there's that. But yeah, and then the Versus series, like that's just like basically just the fighting game equivalent. Like you just get like the basics through the fighting game medium.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? I honestly I think that's a pretty good list. I think it's a really good list of games that would be really good choices for people to get into if they're just new, if they're very new to fighting games. And yeah, pretty much like as we've mentioned before, it just go to the one that you think looks the coolest and work from there. You know,
Yeah,
it,
yeah, and I mean like the bigger game companies have gotten a bit better with accessibility. Like I mean like Tekken, like I might not recommend Tekken to new players even with its new mod control
yeah,
scheme because like to me the new mod control scheme where basically you just like do some button commands to like get certain moves off. It just
yeah.
feel
Even those can still be tricky.
well, it's just for me it feels more constraining, which is why I actually prefer like even when I was first going into Tekken 8 and like me I was not very prized in Tekken, but I found that I actually had a lot more control and a lot more just I could do what I wanted with my character with the classic control scheme, but because it like it is just like the like that one button for each limb thing. Now, granted, there is still a whole novel's worth of move lists that you have to memorize for anything. So
Yes, good
yeah,
God.
so definitely not a contender, but but yeah, like it is a little more accessible. Like I mean, like they did make the heat activation and the rage arts like those are definitely a lot easier to throw out on like Tekken 7 or and anything before that. And then like of course we gotta talk about Street Fighter for a second here because I mean they do have like the modern control scheme which makes everything like so much more accessible. Like you can basically just hold down a trigger, mash a button, and you do a combo.
There you go. Exactly. So yeah, I think with that we can pretty much wrap this episode up. So I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we are definitely out of time.
Oh yeah, yeah, no worries. So, yeah, but just a quick recap, guys. So definitely dive kick and Smash Bros would be like for like the serious like non gamers who want to become gamers, and then like Fantasy Strike, MK, Grand Blue, like those ones would be more for the gamers who are coming into the fighting game scene.
Yeah. So, with that said, we will bring this one to a close. Thank you very much to everyone who has listened to this. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode along with the first episode of season 2. And yeah, with that, I'm Wolfpack signing off.
I'm Shamar, leaving the dojo.
Stay safe, stay warm because it is autumn now, so it's getting cooler.
Yes, it definitely is, and also like I hope like for all our fellow Canadians out there, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes, exactly. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in Canada, or at least to those who celebrate. And with that, most importantly, fight on.
Fight on.
We'll see you guys next time. Have yourselves a good one.